Yo, what's good everyone? It is JSX here. Today I'll be giving you guys our NCPL Season 4 Week 6 matchup against the Salmon Armed Shuckles, coached by Tyren, I think. But other than that, if you guys missed out on the last video, definitely make sure you check that out. Well, I don't really encourage it, not really, because we did get like 5-0'd or 4-0'd, 5-0'd or 4-0'd. And then, because we basically got stalled out by Toxic and all that crap, and then I brought terrible prep, and then Naganago came in, got a +1 beast boost and speed, and then I just died after that. So really, after picking up a 5-0 win against Ottawa Savages, we did lose, like, kind of lost that 5-0 in the following week. But next up, we're up against the Salmon Armed Shuckles, like I said. And if you guys missed out on the last video, I did go into, like, a quick explanation saying that I am way behind on my videos. So that's why soon you guys will see. If you guys didn't see the last video, my team builder will be different. It's going to be kind of simple, like not as creative and as normal as I would do it, or preferably, but I am behind, so bear with me. I'm not going to go in depth into my team. I'm just going to say whatever, and then I'm not really going to go into his team. I will have a little Pokemon, I will have his draft on the side, so you guys will see that, compare that to the sets I brought, and we'll go from there. But first up, not even going to talk about his team, I'm telling you. I did say that last week my opponent had Naganadel. The most absurd thing on this week would have to be, the scariest things that I would say would have to be the Dugtrio, Tornadus, Tyren, and definitely the Zerktree. Those are the three threats that I would say is the most threatening to bring against my team. But first up, we got Bose the X-Plow with the choice specs. This thing absolutely demolishes his team. I can bring this against Slowbro and kill something. Boom Burst, Fire Blast, Sleep Talk, Focus Blast. Sleep Talk because I can bring this in on a Moongus, take its Spore, and even if I click Sleep Talk while I'm specs, I can potentially click Boom Burst and just like kill something. Like I'll have to get lucky with rolls. I would have to get lucky with rolls. And I don't know how much speed. I don't know what speed I had on this thing, or why I put 40, but almost max HP, almost. And then we got Soldier Boy, the Tokius, nice and shiny, barely noticed. Wakan Berry, Serene Grace, Air Slash, Nasty Plot, Roost, HP Ground, Spadef set, max HP. This is a bulky Spadef Pokemon, but it's also meant to set up, because this thing has base 120 special attack, so that's freaking god tier for a wall. So, Air Slash and HP Ground, pretty much this is the whole entire team. I HP Ground the Zerktree, I HP Ground the Registeel, and that's basically the main two things, especially, and Volcanion as well. Those are the three main things that I have HP Grounded for, but because of the Wakan Berry, basically, I'm going to go into my Togekiss, hopefully set up a Nasty Plot, lure in the Zerktree, take a Thunderbolt, click HP Ground, and it's gone. If he's like Tail Glow, then I probably die to a Thunderbolt anyways. Actually, I know, I think I have a really small chance to live, or like I barely live. But other than that, this threatens out the Amoonguss as well, and then like there's really not much he can do. He can bring like a Spadef, Registeel, Spadef, type no, but other than that, he really doesn't have much to take this on. So yeah, and then we got Skrillex and Noivern with the Power Herb. We're bringing the heat today. Okay, it's not like major heat, but it's like minor heat. But we got Frisk with the Power Herb. We got Hurricane, Roost, Tailwind, Solar Beam. My boy Magma know what's up when I said we got Solar Beam Power Herb. We were literally talking, like, when I was showing him my sets and all, and, like, I was like, yo, I'm gonna bring Solar Beam, and he's like, okay. So I brought Solar Beam, and we got Roost Tailwind. This is like a, as you can see, we were running, like, 252 in the fence, enough speed for whatever, I think, Tornadus, Therian. And, Hurricane for main stab, not really bringing any Dragon, stab, because it's not really needed. I just need to land my Hurricane. Solar Beam hits 3 of his Pokemon. What is it called? The Slowbro, mainly, the Quagsire, the Politoed, and the Dugtrio. I think that was 4. Did I say 3? I'm sorry. But Tailwind is also there because I can bring a Noivern, outspeed most of his team, click Tailwind, let that thing die, go into X-Blood, and then click Boom Burst like 6 times or 4 times. And, you know, it's going to be like a late game sweep. And actually, yeah, I'm running physically defensive mainly just for Dugtrio and mainly Mienshao because my team is so Mienshao weak. But next up, we got Justinian the Barrel. We got Double Edge, Aqua Jet, Taunt, SD, 116 and attack, max HP, a lot of Spadef. I have no idea why I have this much Spadef. I'm running Double Edge because, oh, I know why. Because after +2, after +4 from Simple SD, Double Edge to a max HP, max physical defensive Bold or Impish Amoonguss does 88 min. There's like, it's a somewhere around there. I'm pretty sure it's like guaranteed no matter what. After rocks, or like not even after rocks, or like no rocks in general. But we have Aqua Jet because nice priority. I was thinking a quick attack, but I think Aqua Jet would be better in the long run. Taunt for the Slowbro, so I can force it to attack me and not click slack off. I can taunt the Amoonguss if it's gonna go for Spore. I can taunt the Registeel if it's gonna go for rocks. I can taunt the Quagsire if it goes for Recover or Toxic, so on and so on. Next up, we got, and I gotta watch out for Unaware Quagsire, but I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on whether or not he'll bring that because I do have Simisage, and I have been using it pretty decently so far. We got Super Saiyan Rose, or yeah, Super Saiyajin Rose. Mega Ampharos, static. Oh wait, yeah, it's supposed to be Mode Breaker, but it's static before Mega Evolves. Thunderbolt, Dragon Calls, Rest, Sleep Talk. This is my physically defensive Mega Ampharos. This is basically a scenario. If he brings in Dugtrio and I get trapped with Mega Ampharos, then I can live at Earthquake, assuming it's not banded. Click Dragon Pulse, bring it down to at least its Sag Ampharos, bring something else in. So realistically, I really need this thing because it's a really good check to the Tornadus, especially if it clicks U-turn. That's why we have static. Hopefully we get some paralysis going. Rest, Sleep Talk, on the off chance I am able to get some recovery up, and that would be nice. And next up we got Pink the Inferno with the Choice Band, Iron Fist, Mach Punch, U-turn, Fire Punch, Stealth Rocks, Max Attack, Adamant, enough speed for something, I really don't know, but I'm pretty sure Choice Banded, Iron Fist boosted, Mach Punch, Stab, Inferno does outcode Dugtrio, or does at least 50% over half. U-turn for initiative because he does have the Mega Slowbro, does have the Quagsire and the Polysode, and I don't really need Flare Blitz or Close Combat, as long as I play this right. Is this kind of like a late game sweep or like a pickoff? And yeah, I mean, that's really my team. I don't want to run Flare Blitz, and Fire Punch does get boosted by Iron Fist anyway, so that's really good there. I do outspeed. I speed tie with Mienshao. I think I speed tie with Mienshao. I think so. And if like say the Zergotry gets 2 out of hand and my Togekiss sit doesn't work, then I can bring in Infernape, click Mach Punch, banded Mach Punch, followed by like the Barrel's Aqua Jet, or just bring in Noivern and click Tailwind or something. I really don't know. But other than that, like I said, I'm not gonna go much into detail. It's been 6 minutes. Pretty good timing, but other than that, let's get right into the battle. Yo, we are back with the battle, and as you guys can see, we have the matchup right here against Tyren, coach of the Salmon, Armed Shuckles. And as you can see, he's brought the Dugtrio, the Slowbro, Mega Slowbro, may I say, Quagsire, Tornadus, Miss Magius, and Registeel. Most surprising thing I see on the screen is that he brought the Quagsire, and I'm pretty sure he only brought it for the Barrel. I feel like that's the only sole reason why he brought it. But other than that, Quagsire doesn't really do much against my team. Well, I mean, like, against the team I brought, it does a lot, but on paper, it didn't really look like it was going to do much. Plus, I had Simisage, so I didn't know if he wanted to do that, because I could have had Simisage, and I could have had, like, a subset or something. I don't know. But other than that, we have the matchup right here, and in terms of leads, I'm just going to go ahead and lead with my Barrel. Looking at it, it's the most expendable Pokemon on my team, considering he didn't even bring the Amoonguss, which is great. So I can still pressure his Slowbro, I can still pressure his Registeel, and I am actually going to lead with my Barrel, because I do have Taunt on this, so I'm going to predict the Registeel to lead, but he instead leads with the Tornadus. So here I'm going to go to my Togekiss, and the worst case scenario that could happen anyway, like the way I think about it is that if he just Sludge Waves the first turn, it's gonna be kind of bad, because even though I am Spadef, it's gonna be like a lot of damage, and it's gonna force me to roost. So here I'm gonna risk my Togekiss, and I am just gonna simply, yep, he just goes for the U-turn. It is 7%. I want you guys to realize that 7%. So apparently I went to the Calyx, and I mean it's 4 times resisted, and I'm max HP. So I'm really concerned. I looked at the Calyx. He has a banded max attack Tornadus, and I'm like, bruh, like I did not expect this. I was expecting like AV or like Life Orb with coverage and U-turn. But other than that, he does bring in the Registeel, and this is somewhat good. He didn't bring the Zergotry. I just realized that. He didn't bring the Zergotry. So the Pecan Berry on Togekiss is kind of nullified, but it's still pretty good if he has like Thunderbolt on his Mismagius. Kind of small chance, but if he does bring it, then it's going to be great. So here, as he brings in the Registeel, I'm simply going to click Nasty Plot this turn, because I am built to like kind of set up all over this thing's face. He goes for Power Punch, and I'm kind of surprised. I'm going to go for my HP Ground. That did 20%. I saw Power Punch, and I was pretty confused why he had Power Punch and not like Curse. And I was like, why does he not have Curse? So I go for the Hidden Power. You guys just saw it did like 21%. From the Calyx, if he was like max Spadef, max HP, it should have done like at least 30%. And if he was physically defensive, it would have done like 40. So I could have like 3-hit KO'd or 4-hit KO'd this Registeel and pressured it that way. But I did 20%, so I looked at it. Max HP, max Spadef, Assault Vest Registeel with Power Up Punch. So literally, this Body of Steel is Power Up Punch plus 3 of coverage moves. So here at this point, he goes for the Iron Head. It does over half to me. So here I'm going to go into my Barrel and hope he doesn't have any sort of coverage for my Barrel. If he has Thunder Punch or Hammer Arm, it completely nukes my team. But it kind of didn't make sense to me, because if he had Power Punch and Hammer Arm, then it's kind of repetitive in the moveset, and thus it wouldn't allow him to get as much diversity. Thunder Punch could be a possibility, but he does have Iron Head, which just bobs my Togekiss plus its stab. So I'm gonna bank on the idea that he doesn't have any coverage, any super effective coverage from my Barrel. So here, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go for my SD. Main part of it, he goes for Power Punch on the switch, which is the great play. Really good play. Now he's +2. So here, I'm going to go for my SD. We're +4. He does have Earthquake. No super effective coverage move. And we eat that up. But Barrel is here. You see this god horizontal surfboard flipping tail over here. But I love the Barrel. I love it. But main thing is that I need to get like at least I need to get a huge damage on his Rage Steel for my Infernape or my Explode to just pick it off later on. So here I'm gonna go for my Double Edge. He does switch out, which is great because even forcing it out is great. And as you guys can see from that damage, he is definitely unaware, or else this thing would have been completely gone. I'm gonna go for Double Edge again just to get as much damage off as possible because it is my most expendable Pokemon and I'm already +4, so I might as well go for it. But here he goes for the Toxic and not. He goes for the Toxic instead of going for the EQ or Earth Power. Let's get, yeah. He just goes for that. So he probably was predicting like my Togekiss to come in. Thankfully, I do stay in. And here is where the taunt play comes into play. So he just saw a Double Edge, and Double Edge plus another round of Toxic will kill my Barrel. So as very well he knows he can live a hit plus I die, he's gonna go for Recover. It's like the obvious play. So this is where the taunt is gonna come in. I go for the taunt, and the Quagsire with a 1-inch eyeballs does go for Recover. And here I die to the next hit. I'm gonna predict the Mismagius to come in and click Aqua Jet. Because the thing is that if he stays in and I click Double Edge, I die, but he is like he's gonna be like around 20%, and his Quagsire is basically useless at that point. So here, predicting the Mismagius, if I go for the Double Edge on the Mismagius switch, then I just die to Toxic. So it's kind of like a cheeky play if you want to go for it. So I'm gonna go for Aqua Jet. I would basically OHKO the Mismagius if it does come in. He does unfortunately stay in. I do like nothing, and he goes for Scald, and he does take out my Barrel. But this is great because now he's at around 50%, and his Quagsire is weakened, and I can bring him my X-Ball for free. And let I mind you that if you guys didn't watch the Team Builder, I am a Specs modest X-Cloud. This thing just straight up dies. It just straight up dies. I know it's physically defensive, straight up dies. So here, I'm going to make the prediction, and I'm going to go for Focus Blast, predicting the Registeel because it's a pretty safe switching. I go for Focus Blast, I don't miss, and I did 35%. That's how bulky this body of steel is. This thing, look at its arms, bro. Just look at it. It's crazy. Power Up Punch, don't diss on those arms, bro. Like, he might have noodle arms, flat ass arms, but he got them arms, bro. He be lifting. But his arms is pretty threatening. So like here, I'm gonna go. I don't know what I go for. Oh, I go into Togekiss. So I know Togekiss can take any hit. More than likely, he's gonna click a fighting type move or a ground type move. So I'm gonna go into my Togekiss. Hopefully, he doesn't click Iron Head, but instead he also switches out as I go into my Togekiss. And here I'm gonna bring in my Ampharos. I know this thing is banded or like at least physically offensive. Really scary threat. So here I'm gonna go into my physically defensive Ampharos. Even if he does go for U-turn, it's fine because there's a 30% chance to paralyze. And if he brings in Dugtrio, I can weaken that with Dragon Pulse because unless he's banded or Life Orb, I shouldn't be able to die to an EQ from the Dugtrio. So this is the perfect situation. This is fine. This is why Ampharos is here. So here he goes for Sky Drop, and I try to Mega Evolve, but it wouldn't let me. And he gets like no damage on my physically defensive Mega Ampharos. And thankfully, he does get the static. We are a regular Ampharos, but we get a crit. So we don't even need to Mega Evolve to be a freaking beast. So he brings it in. I did try to switch out on the off chance. He was like Sandvale. But here, yeah, he's Arena Trap. So here, I know I can live a hit. I'm going to go for D-Pulse. He goes for Earthquake. We'd be slurping that crap up. We don't care if the apocalypse happens. We take another crit, take it down to its sash. And Ampharos is unfortunately going to go down. So it may look like we're down 1, but this is still a winnable game. So here I'm going to go into my Noivern. Noivern, as you guys can see, it goes for Sucker Punch. Noivern, if you guys saw the Team Builder, is max physically defensive with a lot of speed. So if he goes for Stone Edge, it's fine because I should be able to eat it up. And then I can just Hurricane and kill it off. But here he goes for Sucker Punch, so he doesn't have the rock coverage. I'm going to go for the Hurricane, but I miss. So here I'm going to predict the Sucker Punch again and go for Roost, just to get as much HP as possible before I kill this Dugtrio. He goes for Sucker Punch, and he gets a freaking critical hit. And that's a dead 3-pack of dicks. So now he goes into the Registeel. I'm going to predict the Ice Punch. So let's see. He has Power Up Punch, Iron Head, and EQ. So that means his last move has to be Ice Punch, because then he can't really touch my Noivern. I don't know. Yeah, I was just kind of predicting Ice Punch. Like, I made a big risk. The thing is that he wouldn't click Earthquake. To me, I don't think he would click Earthquake on a Noivern, considering that it's a flying type, and I have Togekiss, which is also a flying type. So Ice Punch covers both Togekiss and Noivern, and Explode is kind of frail. So I'm going to make the ballsy play, go in Infernape. He does go for the Ice Punch. We eat that up. We don't get burned. Not burned, frozen. I'm going to predict him to switch out, go for this banded U-turn on this female Paul, go into my Togekiss, and this is absolutely perfect because now I can get a free Roost off, and I don't care if he switches into Registeel. So let's see, Soldier Boy. So here, I'm going to predict. This is where it gets kind of scary, because if I mispredict here, I could probably lose a Pokemon, or this Registeel could be a huge threat again. So here, considering that I switched out from Noivern into Infernape, predicting the Ice Punch, he might predict me to predict him to go for Iron Head, and I might go back into Infernape. So I'm going to bank on him not to click Iron Head, and I'm going to go for a Nasty Plot. So I go for a Nasty Plot, we do outspeed. He goes for the Earthquake, predicting Infernape, and that is amazing. HP Ground does 2-hit kill this thing, and Iron Head has no absolute way of killing my Togekiss. So now he brings in Mismagius. I go for Roost. Iron Head did less than 50%, so me going for Roost was the best play, considering that I could easily stall him out, get as much HP as possible. And this is great, because now he brings in the Mismagius. So here I can just simply Air Slash this thing. And here is where the Bakan comes into play, because he does pack the T-Bolt. So it wasn't a waste after all, because as you guys will see, Thunderbolt does 50%. So I would have been easily 2-hit KO'd by Mismagius, and I would have been forced to switch out. I would have to get an absolute min roll to not kill the Registeel here. I don't. That thing goes down. We bring in Slowbro. A lot of crap happening. The Soldier Boy is here. We take that Side Shock like a champ, and we're pretty much just gonna Roost stall here. I mean, I honestly could just like Air Slash this thing, let it go down, go into Noivern, click Solar Beam, and then Hurricane on the Quagsire. But realistically, I need to, like, this extra differential point is gonna help considering my position in this league. So as much, if I can keep differential, then I'll keep differential. Like, if it's like not risking, if it's a pretty safe way to preserve, then I'm gonna preserve. I get the Air Slash flinch, which is great. I take another Air Slash, and that's gonna take out the Slowbro, and there's no way Quagsire can take me out. But instead of going for the Togekiss sweep, I'm gonna go into Noivern. Hope he doesn't have Ice Beam. He gets a Crit Scald, no burn, and this is where the tech comes into play. We got the physically defensive Power Herb Solar Beam, and that is a dead Quagsire, roasted to the sun, extinct, gone. That killed like 10 million Quagsires, I swear. All the Whoopers doesn't exist anymore. But yeah, we do pick up a nice 4-0 win against Tyren, coach of the Salmon Arm Shuckles, and I'm pretty sure we're like 3-3 now. We're 3-3 now, so we're kind of neutral. And I really like the way we played this game. That Registeel was a really huge threat. Like, I wasn't expecting for it to be like that much of an issue for my team, but it did prove to be a pretty huge threat. And overall, the Bandit Tornado Starion was like a huge unexpected bring. So yeah, GG to Tyren, man. Really enjoyed our battle. But if you guys did enjoy this match, like I said, we're 3-3. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more. I really would appreciate it if you guys did, because I kind of do this on my off time. I kind of do this instead of homework sometimes, because I do like to do YouTube. I do like to do all this fun stuff. But other than that, if you guys enjoyed, like I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. This is Chase XC here, and I'll see you guys in the next encounter.